Well, today I'm just going to do a little bit of work on my Christmas house. So I found this lace. It's kind of in an off white color and some baseboard that I have. And I'm going to make a set of curtains. See what that looks like. So I've chosen to use two pieces of wood to make each one of the curtain rods. So the wider stuff will go against the wall, and then this little piece of baseboard is going to go over top of it, just so that I can glue the flat part directly to the wall, so it'll be a little bit more stable. So that's kind of what I've got planned. So that's how it looks. So I've just got to cut a little bit of this lace and glue it together and see how it looks. So I've got the lace cut. It's not cut exactly. I will trim it as soon as I get it all put together. So I'm just kind of fitting it right now to see how it looks. You can see one side's shorter than the other, but that's not a big deal. And that's how I plan on gluing it, only straight. Funny. So now I've got it glued together. So I have the lace sandwiched between the two pieces of wood, and I glued it together with tacky glue. So I'm going to have to let it dry for about an hour before I take it upstairs and install it on the little house. I'm quite pleased with the way that looks. I've got the lace trimmed nicely, and yeah, I think that looks all right. So and you might have noticed earlier, I've got two candy containers. So this is Smarties. And I really like the shape of this container. Look, it's got 6 sides. So I thought, oh, that would make a lovely hat box. So I've decided to cut this down and try and make myself a hat box out of it. So there's the bottom half of it. And yeah, isn't that cute? Just like perfect size. And so I have to cut a second one. And there you go, I've cut a second one. Now it's not going to fit on top. So I'm going to have to come up with a plan to make the top part just slightly bigger. So my idea was to undo it. And that's what it looks like. And then I'm going to trace it onto a piece of scrapbook paper. So I've gone ahead and I traced it onto a piece of scrapbook paper, and I made it slightly bigger, and then I folded it exactly the same as the original. And if I glue it together, it should be just slightly bigger so that it will fit on top of the base of my hat box. So now I've got out my tester's paint because of course, my box says Smarties on it, and it's bright orange, and that's not very attractive. So I'm going to make it gold. So this does fit on. It's just that I'm running the camera with one hand, and the other hand I'm showing you. So this is what the box looks like, all painted up with the tester's gold. And now I'm going to embellish the top of the box. So I've got this crochet cotton that's got like a little bit of gold in it. So I'm going to use that for a bow. And then I've got this little piece of lace. So this is not regular lace. This is actually paper lace. So it's vintage, and I've had it for quite some time, and it came from a charity shop. So it's meant to be used for crafting, so it's made out of paper. So I cut a little piece off, and I glued it to the top with a little bow made out of that crochet cotton. And now I've got to let this little piece sit and let dry for a little while, because I'm not going to be able to handle it until the glue is completely dry. So now I've got it's still drying, and I've cut little squares of tissue paper to put inside the box for when it is dry. In the meantime, I'm going to go upstairs and see what I can do with these curtains. So you can see the crudely cut window slits. I'm sure a child at one time owned this dollhouse and they wanted some light in the dollhouse, so they just crudely cut it open. And that's okay. I mean, it's just part of the history of this 100-year-old dollhouse. But I want to cover it up or disguise it slightly. So you can see here I've got the lace curtains that I made, and I'm just going to glue them on permanently onto the wall. So I've got the tacky glue, and I'm just gluing the back of my makeshift curtain rods, and I'm going to install those right above each of the windows. So it doesn't completely hide it, but it does look a lot better than the way it looked before. So I think it has a nice cozy feel, and I'm quite happy with the way that turned out. So I've installed both of those little window coverings, and yeah, it's starting to feel homey. So I put the furniture back. See, I think that looks pretty good. So this little house is coming along. There's lots more work that yet needs to be done to decorate her up for Christmas, but the window coverings are the only permanent thing really that I'm going to add to the house, other than I got to do a little bit with those flower boxes in the front. So once again, there's the plate that my friend Chris gave me, and I just mounted it back up on the wall using museum wax. So there you go. I've got it all decorated. So I think there's a few more things that have to go in here before the Christmas tree, but yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. So now off to the front of the house. So you can see there on the left that little poinsettia plant. That's what I'm going to use for the window boxes. And you can see, if you do a close-up on the windows, you can see a little bit of the lace poking its nose through when you get close up. And I think that looks really nice. So there's the poinsettia plant that I bought at the estate sale. It only cost $1, so I don't feel terrible about cutting it apart. And the cap that it's sitting in is just covered in green tape, so it's not like it's a fancy pot or anything. So I've cut all the flowers off of it, and I also found these vintage flowers in my stash, and I'm going to use some of those as well. So I think I only need one bundle. And then I've also got this lovely little red flower decoration that I'm also going to use on the porch. So what I've done is I've actually just glued the flowers directly onto the little window boxes, and I think that looks just absolutely perfect. So yeah, it looks cute. I didn't remove the little dead flower that was already there. And here's Sherry's business card. If you'll remember, I won this little item at the miniature show and sale in a random draw, and I am just absolutely over the moon thrilled with this little piece, and I think it belongs in this little house. So I put it on the front stoop, and so now the outside of the house is finished, in my opinion. I think it looks really good and really festive and ready for the Christmas season that, of course, is going to last all year round in this little house. So I'm having so much fun decorating this house. There's something about doing Christmas that's so much fun. So now I'm taking a couple pieces of this really thin tissue paper, and I'm putting it inside of my little hat box. I wished I had some gold or some purple tissue paper, but yellow's what I got, so I don't think it clashes too terribly. Just kind of wanted to put something inside of it just to kind of make it look not quite so plain when you open it up. And then here's my little lid. So I'm just sticking the lid on it, and there you go. So I added a little bit of paper lace all the way around the outside. I just used a glue stick to glue it on, and I might have to go back and use a little bit of tacky glue, but that's okay. So I'm just kind of pressing it down, and there's my little hat box. So I think that that's actually a perfect 124 scale hat box. So, but I think a box like that would work in any scale house. Well, maybe not in 1/48th, but it certainly would look all right in a 1/16th or a 1/12 scale house as well. So there's my little box, completely created out of a candy box. I think that turned out pretty cute. So I'm quite pleased with it. So, and yeah, that's kind of what I did today. So I think that when you're doing miniatures, it's sort of a good idea to always kind of keep your eyes peeled on all the little regular everyday items that we normally would just discard. So I'm quite pleased. I think I'm going to add this into my little Trang dollhouse. If you enjoyed today's video and would like to help support my channel, you can do so by buying me a coffee. Just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Lisa Dobo. Thank you to everybody that has contributed to my Buy Me a Coffee fund. And if you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. It's free of charge and it really does help my channel out. And if you hit the notification button or the bell, you'll be told every time I upload a new video. And again, thanks so much for watching today and have the best day ever, guys.